Jayden using her speed to her advantage. Bacchess stacking at speeds that are more normal to me. A little bit of plonking going on there. Bacchess does have 2 eyepieces in the queue. This is going to be a nice 20 solve there from Bacchess, as Jayden is using her time in zone as well.
And actually sets up a really nice 20 here, which is a 65. Definitely one-upping Bacchess, but we're neutral here because of the time difference. It's rare that Jayden takes longer to finish a zone. So we'll see if that's a trend that we actually continue with.
Yeah, Bacchess did have nice burst speed in zone there, and Jayden did take a little bit of time for some setups there, so it does make sense in this context, but I would not expect to see that too much in this matchup.
Yeah, although that misdrop
there. Yeah.
Ooh. We are seeing another trend of the favored to win seeming to misdrop more.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's because they know they can get away with it. I mean, you saw...
I guess so.
Yeah. I did see Dormy going for some insane setups because he had the advantage, and that's what caused a no sweep in that matchup. So maybe this is just Jayden being comfortable, but that is a pretty notable queue incoming with Jayden's board here. Only half zone, but she's going to be able to mitigate it.
Yeah, 28 to cancel a 56, literally half the attack.
However, that does come in as phase 3, so it's not like this is just super easy garbage for Jayden to deal with, and both players are stacking over their garbage really well right now. That is the meta of just saying, all right, I have this garbage underneath me, but I might as well build this clean stack.
Don't
know what stack Jayden was building, but both players doing a really good job of that right now. Bacchess does misdrop that. Oh, and then misses the eye spin for the fix right there, but that is still a pretty clean board. I do like this TSS solve here, but Bacchess is pushed up really high.
They do have 3/4 of the zone here, so that's about 7.5 seconds. And they're making it go the distance here with an 11. This could actually even... Oh, before that misdrop, it could have become a 15. But let's also sell for a 12 with 22 attack. And now Jayden with a full zone here, a lot of man-made material, and also setting up a couple of T-spins there. They're going to sprint this out. They still have 5 seconds left, and they're already at like the same line count that Bacchess was. And that's going to be a 17 with 50 attack. Wow.
Yeah, and that is what these top players are able to do. What makes them so difficult to play right here is they're able to just output attacks like this that the game designers did not really anticipate when they made this game. Phase 3 zone timer is meant to not let you have full access to your board, but these players are able to do it just because of who they are.
Yeah, at the highest level, it's just possible. And you know what? Bacchess is getting quite a few combos here. He got a 6 combo, now a 4, and they've managed to squeeze out a second quarter zone. They're still alive, and you know what? They see the end of the queue here, but Jayden is not done. And I don't see them getting out of this, unfortunately. Yeah, they have one more skim, and it's not enough.
Yeah, that's not it. Yeah.
You know, I'm going to argue that Bacchess played basically flawlessly there, but Jayden kept just the right amount of pressure up. So
I mean, 3.5 minute round against Jayden is nothing to bark at.
No, like that's really impressive. I'm gonna say this, which it does sound weird because I'm talking about Jayden, but they're not playing at their fastest today. I've noticed that they did start off last round a little bit slower than I would have expected from them. Maybe they chose to take their time, or they're just warming up.
Yeah, that can also just be that these are kind of the lower stakes matchups of the weekend.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bacchess with a lot of clean material there. It's going to zone as well. I think that's a great choice. Just quickly sprint one out. Try and match Jayden's speed here. The thing they're known for.
Yeah, and Jayden with a little bit of inefficiency here is going to lead to some back-to-back breakage in zone, which will definitely reduce the attack. And does find the ulti right there, which isn't going to do much to Bacchess's board.
I wonder if Jayden's experiencing much... like, I know when people jump between handling types, handling settings, they do struggle for a little bit, a few minutes. I wonder if Jayden's played much TEC in between their recent PPT sprints and now, because it could explain a few misdrops.
I feel like Jayden is better than most at switching back and forth, though. Bacchess does have a little bit of awkwardness on the board, does look like misdrops just based on how they're fixing them.
Jayden has been sending them a lot of clean garbage, so that's definitely in their favor, but in about 15,000 points, that won't be the case anymore. Nice, a flat T-spin as well. And Jayden, actually goes for a T-spin single burn there, Really interesting.
And so we're ending up at
now.
basically even here.
Yeah. Phase 3, and Bacchess again holding the line. Really impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Bacchess being pushed up on the board again, and Jayden just finding that completely man-made stack, just going for these T-spins. That 6-3, that is a very nice I-spin. There's a misdrop after it, but it's not really going to affect Jayden that much.
No, that's fairly solid gameplay from them. Fairly good decision making, but I mean, Jayden's just overwhelming them at this point. The score difference speaks for itself. A lot of attack there from Bacchess though. Jayden actually has to do quite a bit of work to get out of this.
Yeah, and Jayden misdropped too right before that, so that is not going to help. So she was able to clear herself out some stack space with that zone, but still having to deal with some misdrops, and that is going to give Bacchess an opportunity here. It's going to be very difficult to convert against Jayden, but this is Bacchess's best case scenario right now.
Honestly, this is really good for Bacchess. I can see them winning out of this, but Jayden once again knowing exactly when to zone, not waiting for a second here. And they're trying to kick that eyepiece over, but they can't. And Bacchess has Jayden on the ropes with a full zone, but they don't know. I think now's the best time they could possibly pick to activate it. Yep.
Ooh,
and the misdrop going into it. No.
Okay, these are some nice fixes with this though. It is going to eat some efficiency, but this is still a good zone here. This is. Ooh, not quite finding the IRS to find the higher clear there. This is going to be, I mean, Jayden was able to build 3/4 zone in that time.
Yeah, and it's efficient as well.
When your opponent is zoning like that, that means you have so much free time to do the whole stacking on top of the garbage ordeal. And that is, a giant chunk coming in on Bacchess' side. I think I would have cleared the Tetris before activating the zone there, but that's just me.
Yeah, unfortunately, literally activating the win condition put Bacchess at a disadvantage there. Jayden is fast enough to outpace your zone attack with just regular gameplay. Incredible.
Yeah, that's what Jayden is known to do, though. It is just so good at just sprinting on top of that stack. I mean, TEC sprint world record holder for a reason.
We're in a very interesting time for Tetris because we have one player who's dominating all 3 games right now.
Ooh,
nice PC with the Tetris. We have one player who's dominating all 3 games of Tetris. We have Sake Gohan, or also known as Akashi Robo, dominating TEC, Tetrio, and PPT. And now we have a single player with the sprint world record in PPT and TEC. It's a really interesting time to be in the scene.
Yeah, that's for sure. Jayden has this zone going right now, is definitely looking for this higher clear, finds that ulti, and that is going to put
one
a lot.
chunk.
That is one giant chunk. Bacchess does misdrop. I mean, they're going to be able to get out of this, especially because they have the higher clear and because this is phase 2 garbage.
And Jayden already with half a zone. I feel like we used to see a lot more of them sprinting out half zones, but they're a bit more particular about when they activate now.
It's also interesting to see, all spins. Now that all spins is a thing in Tetrio, is that affecting people's TEC gameplay? I can only speak for myself, and the answer there is yes.
I feel like I do the occasional all spin that actually is breaking back-to-back in TEC. I will say though, I think it's overall a good thing. Because having that game mode, having that meta over there, encourages people to learn more interesting spins that can get them out of certain situations that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to without that knowledge. And I doubt it's going to help Bacchess here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that was just a little bit of awkward zoning going on there. Jayden able to push things over into phase 3. I mean, like almost double the score over there. Just being able to put an insane amount of attack on a Bacchess' board, and that is going to be match point for Jayden as we do start this off here. Bacchess is starting off with Grace System here and able to find the PC from it. Thank you for rotating the piece a lot of times to tell us that you found the PC, as Jayden is just combo down stacking this right now. And Wylie's typing up an essay.
I'm putting out a ping saying commentating.
Oh, you're so right. I didn't do mine.
Yeah, right. I just forgot. I'll do it after this match. I'll do it after this match.
Okay, yeah, we'll do it after this match.
Yeah, we're very good at what we do, guys. Mid game. For now, Bacchess with a pretty good 16. It's taking a little bit of time in comparison to Jayden immediately sprinting out 12. Whoa. Okay. And that was a pretty good zone from Bacchess, but Jayden with a 57 in 20 and immediately cancels any advantage that Bacchess would have had. In fact, Bacchess throwing all their eyepieces into column 1 and trying to open up their right side wells manages to do so, and Jayden is just taking very inefficient combos. They don't need to worry. The kick! The kick! Oh, beautiful! Oh, you love to see it.
Yeah, continuing to take those combos here. I mean, they are pretty. Do have to say that, but we do have Jayden setting up with a 3/4 zone. This at 57,000 points, you got to be thinking about zoning here.
Absolutely.
Okay, pushes it over into phase 3, doesn't even zone. And I mean, yeah, of all the players that don't need that extra zone timer for phase 2, I guess Jayden is one of them. So
it must be interesting not to worry about it. Can you imagine
it's gotta be so
nice?
Nice. Yeah,
right.
Like,
not
right.
Even worry.
Right. If I'm at that point, I'm thinking, wow, I got a zone. And Jayden's thinking, you know what? I shouldn't zone. And that's just an insane difference. And Bacchess with a horrible misdrop right there. And then another eye misdrop. And I do think that that's it. This eye piece is coming late in this bag. They do prophecy this T-spin here, but they do compromise their stack in the process of doing this. And that is going to be the end of this set.
Yeah, it must be weird being like, it must be at least nice because a game mechanic that
the efficiency from Bacchess, look at that. Over 180.
Oh wow, yeah,
Bacchess.
180. I guess what happens when you get sent a lot of garbage.
Yeah, that is true.
It's good.